report.
There you go. Ready, man?
Notice is hereby given that a regular council meeting of the town of Laguna Vista, Texas will be held Tuesday, the 13th day of November, 2018 at 6 o'clock p.m. in the City Hall building at 122 Fernandez Street, Laguna Vista, Texas. Call to order at 6:02. Please stand for the invitation led by Councilwoman Smith.
Dear Lord, thank you that we can gather here today, and if you bless this meeting, give us wisdom and grace and guidance with your power. In Jesus' name, amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Those kids are so cute in the school, they go from, they don't know the difference between the plates, they just automatically go boom into the pledges, and they were, the leader wasn't, we weren't. Couldn't do that, that's okay. Thank you, Councilwoman Smith.
Mayor Susie Houston,
Here.
Councilmember Michael Carter.
Here.
Devon Howard is not here. Frank
She's,
Davalos.
Councilwoman Howard had an emergency at work, and she said she would be a little late.
Frank Davalos.
Here.
Rolando Gonzalez.
Here.
Victor Warrell.
Here.
And Nadine Smith.
Here. Is there any open forum?
No, ma'am.
Item 5, all consent agenda items. All matters listed under this item are considered to be routine by the council and will be enacted for approval by one motion. There will not be a separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, the item will be removed from the consent agenda item and will be considered separately.
I just have something on the regular minute, the regular meeting minutes. If you want to move it or you want to do it first.
Well, let's do the workshop and then we'll do, or we can do them both at the same time.
Well, it's just, all we gotta, just have one thing, we need to flip flop members absent and also present is backwards on the front page as well.
This is the regular, the
The
special.
regular minutes, the first page of the regular minutes, if members absent and also present, the information needs to be flip flopped.
Oh, I see.
That's all. Second.
So is that a motion with those corrections?
Yeah, just, yeah, that would be my corrections to the minutes would be that.
Motion on the floor made to accept the minutes of both meetings with the corrections indicated was made by Councilman Worrell, seconded by Councilwoman Smith.
Mayor Houston.
Yes.
Councilmember Carter.
Yes.
Councilmember Davalos.
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilmember Warrell.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Motion passes. Item 6, A, is consideration and action to sponsor the second annual Do It by the Bay do-a-thon, I can never say that word. That's one of those words. Scheduled for Sunday, January 27th, 2019. Rolando?
Karen Watt she's interested in having this event again. It was a very successful event last year, and they want to have it again, and the proceeds being used to benefit a local charity, and they want to have it on the 27th. Our involvement last year was simply the traffic control, the use of the park, hanging up the bikes, and make sure the cops were out there, make sure there were no accidents, and luckily there weren't any last year. And I might add that it's a well-attended event. We have people from Mexico that came down and throughout the state, out of the valley over here, aside from people from the valley. And in my memory notice, this is one thing I want to work with Josie on. She handles the marketing for the golf club. Work on a weekend package. That when people are participating, if they have, this event's on Sunday, they get here on Friday, a weekend package, come and play golf, come and patronize the local businesses, and then do your participation on Sunday morning and eat afterwards. And so we'll be working on that, on a weekend package, get these people to rent locally and spend money. So,
Questions, Mr. Wall?
What charity?
we were looking at,
Oh, is it AMI?
yeah, my
I
kids.
think that's what I saw somewhere.
I wish Karen was here, she was supposed to be here, but something happened.
This was a great event last year too, and you said to sponsor, does it mean just to present it, or do
No,
they actually
what I
pay
mean
for it?
sponsor would be, so this is a Town of Laguna Vista slash,
Okay.
Power Walk coaching event.
Okay, so
Our
it's not
sponsorship
financial
is,
sponsorship.
and absolutely, it's just limited to providing the in-kind support
Yes.
and the use of the park for the set of the
Putting our
bikes
name
and,
on it.
yeah.
You should do it pursuant to a service agreement to avoid wanting the donation of public funds or public things of that nature.
We can,
I always forget.
I didn't hear
So
what
we
you
have.
said.
service,
So, yeah, it should be done through a service agreement between the town and the provider to avoid the potential problem of having a donation of public funds or public thing of value to a private entity. The service agreement would be something in the nature of the town desires this to happen and so is willing to contribute X if the proponent does A, B, C, and D for this particular event.
we can
Just
develop,
like we did
one.
with the Bulls and Bulls Club.
Yeah, we can work on it, definitely.
Any further questions, Mr. Carter?
Regarding what you said, do we have to bring that back to the council for that?
No, I would think that if you're inclined to support this, that you simply authorize the administration to put together a service agreement where the administration contributes the use of the park and whatever other services,
Personnel.
provided that this entity conducts the second annual Do It by the Bay duathlon, and such along those lines, and present it to the mayor for signature. I mean, you could do that if you wanted to.
I'll have them
Just to
review it.
make, just to speed things up, you know what I mean, because we
Yes.
have to wait a whole month for that to happen.
I
Good
understand.
point, good point.
Are you going to make a motion
Mhm.
to approve the Do It by the Bay duathlon, and you're authorized the city manager to write a service agreement? Second.
Motion on the floor made by Councilman Smith, seconded by Councilman Gonzalez, to approve the second annual Do It by the Bay duathlon with the service agreement written by the manager, city manager. Is that correct?
I'll have Rick review it.
It was an excellent evening.
Mayor Houston,
Yes.
Councilmember Carter,
Yes.
Councilmember Davalos,
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Worrell,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Motion passes. Item B, this is second reading to approve the second reading of ordinance number 2018-25, repealing ordinance number 2004-39 and adopting new rates and fees for the town of Laguna Vista. Rolando?
This is the second and final reading of this ordinance. We want to update the existing rates that we have in the fees. And we're proposing some of the changes, you see them there in the ordinance, from increasing the building permit fees to electrical permits. And we've made some minor changes to revamp the whole system we have with rates and fees. We'd be more than glad to address any questions you may have. We think it's pretty reasonable, the increases.
Questions, Mr. Wall?
So, here says the town is hereby authorized to charge a fee for a variance request for property owner to cover the expenses of publication of the meeting required by the town ordinances. What does that actually cost us?
Which one are we, where are you?
Page 2 of 5, section 4A.
Actually, what happens when the request for variance is submitted, by law, we have to put a notice in the paper. And advising property owners within 200 feet from that property that they're being invited to attend a meeting, and it's just request can be made. And your question is, how much is it?
What does it actually cost? You're raising the fee from 150 to 250 to cover the cost of that publication. I just was wondering, what does it actually cost us?
I don't know how much. I know the legal fees are more, the legal ads are more expensive.
Yeah, we have to do a publication
How much
and
would
send
it-
out notices to everybody within 200 feet. So we have to do a letter, the notice, and stamps and envelopes, and
Right.
the publication run,
Okay.
probably runs us about $125, depending on the size, depending on how big it is. But usually it's about what it runs us, plus all the letters we have to mail out.
Plus, and your time in addition to that, is that counting your time or is that just?
No, that's just counting basically to cover the expense of the publications and the letters for
Okay, all right, I'm good then. Thank you.
Questions? Motion? Mr. Carter?
Regarding the building inspection, have we looked at contracting with additional?
I have information on, because right now we have contracted services, and that's something that as a result of an increase in activity, that I'm gonna have to look at in terms of, we're gonna have a part-time employee, we're gonna have, those are things I'm gonna be looking at. But I have that information with me to follow up
Does that answer your question?
on inspection
So
services.
that's like kind of not answering the question, answering it.
But, no, have we looked at it in the sense of, no, your question is, have we looked at it?
Have we actively looked at it? I mean, are you coming up with a solution to the fact that sometimes we're not having timely inspections?
Well, Mayor?
Yes.
Timely to what the contractors want, but we do inspections every day, and we have two people actually. Jay Mitchum is our building inspector, he's the one that does all of the inspection, and he's out, then David Travis, who's the building inspector from the island, is his backup. And so, David, Mr. Travis works until 5 o'clock, and he does his inspections after 5 every day. And Jason, since he's now retired, does them every morning at 8 o'clock. So they get done every day. Sometimes contractors call us and they want them done at 2 in the afternoon. And so that's probably what the big issue is. But other than that, they're very reliable. If one's not here, the other one's always here.
But I think what's happening
Is that what
is,
you were talking about?
Was that
because
answer
we're
your
spending
question, Mr.
a
Carter?
lot of money in contract
That
fees.
answers my question, of the reason why they're not getting timely, yes. But, I don't have to agree with it, because I don't. But, I would just like you to look to hire additional inspectors
Absolutely.
to achieve the goal of our community, which is to increase our property values.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I'm sorry, let the record show that Councilwoman Howard arrived at 6:15. Safely. Any further questions? Comments? Motion?
I make a motion to approve the. 2018-25, repealing ordinance number 2024-39, adopting money rights and fees.
Motion on the floor made by Councilwoman Smith, seconded by Councilman Davalos, to approve ordinance number 2018-25 on the second reading.
Mayor Houston,
Yes.
Councilmember Carter,
Yes.
Councilmember Howard,
Yes.
Councilmember Davalos,
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Worrell,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes. Motion passes. Item C, this is first reading to consider the first reading of ordinance number 2018-28 to rezone lots 1 and 2 of block 452 located at the corner of David Corvo and Santa Isabel Drive from single-family residence R1 to Central Business District CBD 2. Yolanda?
Mayor and Council, this is a follow-up to the discussion that took place last month. We had an item to rezone, for you to consider the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission on a rezoning request. And at that meeting, the attorney said it has to be done as an amendment to the zoning ordinance, which we've done here. What we did, I gave you a copy on your agenda packet of a map, and then we had it a better layout on the one that's in front of you. So what you have, yeah, it's, the blue area is a government property. It's fire station on one side, it's a veterans park on the other. At the October meeting, as I indicated last month, P&Z recommended approval of the rezoning request. It's currently zoned single-family dwelling, R1. It's been recommended to convert it to central business district, which essentially is neighborhood commercial. On the map that you have in front of you, you notice that across the street on Santa Isabel, the property zone, that whole corridor across the street, neighborhood business. The property next to it, on both sides, is government, blue, which is, on one side is the fire station, and on the other is the Veterans Park. So what we're doing with, and staff doesn't have any problem with this rezoning, because what we're doing is essentially extending the zoning for that whole corridor. And chatting earlier with the attorney, incidentally, I might add that this part of the comprehensive plan is that this whole corridor and 510 is central, is neighborhood business. And Highway 100 would be general highway commercial, which is consistent with what the zoning ordinance is at. So I have no problems addressing any questions you may have with this zoning request. Merely is to change it from single family dwelling to neighborhood district, commercial district.
Questions, Mr. Carter?
Okay.
This is the.
On this one, you circled both lots. Are we just worried about the one lot, or the one lot next to it too?
Actually, what I did, I split, see that, it's 3 lots, I split, it's 2 lots that are being
Yeah,
used.
but not the one next to it also, not
Correct.
that one.
Now, what I'm gonna do at the zoning P&Z meeting, I'm gonna bring it up, or we're gonna just formalize everything.
But this ordinance here is just for the one that's
Exactly,
outlined?
those 2 lots, 1 and 2.
That's all I was curious.
Don't get an error. It's supposed to be CDB one, CDB two is the highway.
So it's neighborhood,
The orange is CDB.
On the agenda.
oh yeah,
Well,
Right, so
on
should-
the proposed ordinance as well.
actually,
Oh, okay.
so
There
it's,
appears to be an error there.
well, it's a first reading anyway.
Right.
So-
The zoning district is actually CDB one,
As close to
CBD one. CDB two is the zone classification that you have for your highway 100 property.
general housing.
So this would be CDB one. So
So
for the next reading, the ordinance needs to be changed.
I'll change it.
Councilman Ball and then Councilman Smith. Mr. Carter, to answer your question.
Yeah,
Well, that's why I'm just asking, what are you gonna, so the single-family dwelling that's on the corner of Davis and the 510 there is gonna stay residentially zoned, and there's 2 lots that are this little triangle across is gonna be business district,
Correct. Neighborhood business.
neighborhood business.
Mr. Worrell, then Ms. Smith, and then Mr. Carter.
So I'm wondering, is there a reason that we're doing that and not just doing the whole piece of property there?
Because that lot 3 is not owned by that property owner. There's two separate owners.
So the property owner, yeah, so the property owner, the guy living in that house would have to be interested in rezoning before we.
It's a vacant lot, yeah.
It's not a vacant lot, there's a single family dwelling and a dog tied up there.
No, that's the house next to it, the lot is in the front.
Yeah, that's that's what I'm saying, is that the lot on Davis and the 510, where that house and the dog are, is gonna remain single family, and then so we're gonna chop
There's
up
no house.
that block.
There's no house.
You're talking about,
Terry Bella's property or?
No, Terry Bella's house is right here, it's the lot right next to it, at the corner.
so it's not that.
It's a vacant lot, yes.
Which one, so
He's right, he's meaning the next
I'm
one
talking
is
about-
that
I'm
house
talking
is
about-
all that's tied
we're
up.
gonna rezone the
Hector
rest of
into
that
the-
block, we're
the
not gonna
whole block.
rezone where the house with the dog is.
That's.
Okay, and this is that house, the remainder of that block is that house, right? Or am I wrong? Am I
No,
right?
it's all
There's no
vacant.
house.
Currently, that whole corner there, that I outlined is all vacant.
The piece you didn't
Yes,
outline
but next to
is
it.
not vacant.
The part that fronts the
part
fronts
front-
510.
Uh-huh.
It's on the 510, it's across the street from the Veterans Park. It's not inside the triangle that you drew, but it is inside that block.
And who's lived there? There is a house there.
On Davis Street.
Yeah, that corner.
Right there is the house with the dog. That's what
Oh,
he's
no,
talking about.
no, but the lot that we're talking about is.
Right, but what I'm asking is,
You know, when
is it beneficial for us is it possible for us to rezone the whole thing, or is it not beneficial to do
Like
that?
this
If
whole
we're doing-
thing.
We're doing a piece of a block.
Because the property
Does it
owner
make
requested
sense?
just those two lots.
The property owner does not own that lot 3.
Okay.
The property owner that made the request owns lot 1 and 2, which is the outlined area.
Right, and you said just a minute ago that our goal was to have that entire corridor
Absolutely.
rezoned. So
We're
if that's
gonna-
our goal, can we rezone it with the property owner on it or not?
It doesn't,
If our goal is our goal, then that's, you know.
the PZ, when we look at amending that whole map, we will include that also. The PZ commission looking at updating
Okay.
the ordinance, we would be looking at the map. And at that time, we will include that block 3.
Okay. I was just wondering if we're doing it right now and that is our goal, why wouldn't we do it all? Okay, good enough.
Ms. Smith.
I'm just-
She hasn't had her thing.
I'm just curious that, and we're doing this by the property owner's request,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And does he have any plans that we know
Well,
of? Or do
the
we have
property
any
owner,
plans? Or
what
you just-
happened is that there's a gentleman that approached us and says, I wanna open a beauty salon. So he got a letter from a property owner authorizing the submission of an application to rezone. So the property owner said, I'd like to submit this request for rezone.
Okay.
If the council approves this rezoning request, this realtor, who's a developer, would buy this property and build a beauty salon on those 2 lots. And he says that if it's approved, he's got a business, a beauty salon business ready to move in. And so he would buy the property and build his business.
Mr. Carter.
Just to be consistent, the entire part, all the way up to Mesquite on that front 510 is all zoned the exact same amount except for that triangle.
Correct.
So on the next reading, will you include that section?
You'll have to run it before the planning and zoning commission.
It has to go before them
Yeah,
first.
because right now, the only thing that's been approved is that,
By the
that
planning and
smaller
zoning,
triangle.
and they aren't just advisory committee, they actually have to approve it first.
And this would have to be, you have to examine your comprehensive plan to see how that fits into that. I was told that the comprehensive plan contemplated that both sides of this street were supposed to be the orange.
That's what I.
The comprehensive plan is neighborhood commercial on 510, and general highway commercial on 100.
But except for this triangle, up to the feet.
The zoning map shows that, that's why we have to update that.
And bear in mind that the property owner of that one little lot that we were talking about, with the dog in the house or whatever, you know, he would have to be given notice that it's his property.
I'm just saying this to stay consistent with what we're doing. It just
No, I
makes,
understand the
it
logic.
just makes sense to,
But the procedure is, he would have to be given.
yeah, no, I understand.
Mr. Gonzalez.
What was the reason for not including it in the first place? Do you know?
It's a separate owner.
No, I mean, in the original,
In the original
Yeah, that's
comprehensive
good.
plan.
from the original.
That's a good question.
Okay,
That was so long ago, I don't know.
Yeah.
why that little
Remember,
section was
yeah.
left out?
I mean, I remember what was done, but I don't know why that piece was left out. Any further discussion? All right. Item D, consideration action to authorize the city manager to formally submit the petition for annexation to include the 10 acres where the South Texas Ecotourism Center will be built as an addition and part of the Laguna Madre Water District. Wanda?
Earlier today, I sent you an email updating you on some of the projects I'm working on relative to 100, Highway 100, 23 acres. This is one of them. Several months ago, we had approached the Water District and asked that they consider waiving the annexation fees for the 23 acres. What does this mean? It means that right now that the 23 acres are not within the service boundaries of the Water District. And the Water District came back and said, we will waive the fees for the 10 acres where the South Texas Ecotourism Center will be built. Because the town is leasing that property, so the town is essentially maintaining ownership of that property. So we'll waive the annexation fees. And so what I'm doing here is asking that you authorize me to formally submit the annexation petition to the Water District so they can formally act on this annexation petition and they can formally incorporate those 10 acres into their service boundaries. And you may have seen an email I sent earlier, a couple weeks ago, in which I'm also asking that they include the 13 acres in this effort. So the entire 13 acres and 20 acres should be part of their boundaries. So with this item is asking that you authorize me to move forward on it. And unbeknownst to myself, until I was reminded today, they meet next week. They don't meet next week. Well, it's a good thing because I just got an email from them. I got a 20-page annexation petition that they want me to redo to fit that format that they just sent me. So I'm gonna retype a 20-page petition, so it's gonna take me a couple of days. So they're not meeting next week, so their following meeting, I can go before their board, the following meeting, move forward on this. So incidentally, this is very important because if we're not within their boundary, they cannot service the area. So we're essentially laying the groundwork for water and sewer services to be provided to that area with this petition.
Questions?
Make a motion.
Okay, second.
Move to authorize the city manager to formally submit the petition for annexation to include the 10 acres with the South Texas Ecotourism Center to be built.
I'll second. Motion on the floor made by Councilman Morales, seconded by Councilman Smith, to approve the annexation to the Laguna Madre Water District for the South Texas Ecotourism Center area.
Mayor Houston,
Yes.
Councilmember Carter,
Yes.
Councilmember Howard,
Yes.
Councilmember Davalos,
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Worrell,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Motion passes. Item E, consideration and action to accept the recommendation of the review committee to award the engineering services for the 2019-2020 TDA grant. Rolando?
The town recently advertised for proposals, engineering services proposals, and we received 4 Councilmember Smith, myself, and Alma served in the committee. We reviewed the 4 proposals, we rated them, and we attached those ratings in your packet. You know, we felt Cruz Hogan's done a good job, and so the 3-member committee is recommending that Cruz Hogan be considered for the professional services agreement. I might add, there's no reference to any amounts. Those are the amounts, the state negotiates those amounts with the engineers are selected. So, just to award these professional services.
Questions?
I'll make a motion to accept that recommendation.
Motion on the floor made by Councilman Douglas, seconded by Councilman Porter, to award the engineering services for 2019-2020 TDA grant to Cruz Hogan.
Mayor Houston,
Yes.
Councilmember Carter,
Yes.
Councilmember Howard,
Yes.
Councilmember Davalos,
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Worel,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes. Motion passes. Item F, consideration and action to contract with Patillo Brown and Hale LLP to perform auditing services for the fiscal year ending on September 30th, 2018. Yolanda?
Council, you have a proposal from Castillo Brown and Hill to provide the auditing service for the budget that just ended on September 30th. They're charging $16,000, which is what they've charged in the past. They've done a very good job. That money's already been budgeted in the current budget. And if you award this contract, they're ready to start working on the audit. So we anticipate the audit being completed by the January meeting for your review. And, I mean, I know Mr. Carter is the CPA auditor. We're very good about completing the audit within 4 months. Under state law, they're supposed to be completed within 4 months after the fiscal year ends. And so every year, we've been very good about that. So they should be coming to you at the January meeting with their audit.
Questions?
Make a motion to approve Castillo Brown and Hill to perform the auditing services for fiscal year ending September 18th.
Second.
Motion on the floor made by Councilman Smith, seconded by Councilman Carter, to award the auditing services to Patillo Brown and Hill.
Mayor Houston?
Yes.
Councilmember Carter,
Yes.
Councilmember Howard, Councilmember Davalos, Councilmember Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Worel,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Motion passes. Item G, consideration action to appoint residents to the following advisory boards. The first one is the library.
Like I indicated in my memo, we've had only 3 applications for people interested in serving the P&Z Commission. And we have 3 openings in the P&Z Commission.
For the library?
No, planning and zoning.
Okay,
It's
so
not
I'm
legal.
going down.
It's not legal.
We don't have any.
Okay, I thought somebody might pull somebody out of the hat. Nobody on Parks Board, nobody on CAC.
Can we just pick people out that are, and have them sign up?
Well,
We've done
we
that
asked if
before.
they submit some type of application, but
Another time. Okay, are y'all ready for planning and zoning?
Nominate Secretary Bio.
Second.
Who seconded? Okay, the motion on the floor is made by Councilman Smith, seconded by Councilman Davos to appoint Silky Day Gobeo to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Silky?
Mayor Houston?
Yes.
Councilmember Carter,
Yes.
Councilmember Howard,
Yes.
Councilmember Davalos,
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Worel,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes. Motion passes.
I'll make a motion to appoint Owen Sherman to the planning and zoning commission. I'll second.
Motion on the floor made by Councilman Davos, seconded by Councilman Worrell to appoint Owen Sharonbeck to the Planning and Zoning.